but it was blatantly obvious. Aliyah Boston could have played in the damn game yesterday versus the LA Sparks with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was sabotaged and set up for failure. She played in 2-minute increments. How come Aliyah Boston didn't play in 2-minute increments today? Can somebody explain to me why Aliyah Boston didn't play in 2-minute increments?
What if the biggest story surrounding the Indiana Fever isn't about wins or losses, but about a message that has fans wondering whether something has changed forever? After the team's recent stretch of games, social media exploded with one emotional topic: Caitlin Clark's heartfelt goodbye, Aliyah message. Was it simply a touching show of support between teammates, or has the internet taken it in a completely different direction? As fans dissect every post, every interview, and every on-court interaction, new questions continue to surface. Is there really tension inside the Fever organization? Are recent lineup decisions being misunderstood? And what do Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, Stephanie White, and the rest of the team actually think about all of this? In today's video, we'll separate confirmed facts from online speculation, examine the timeline behind the viral reactions, and explore why this story has left so many Fever fans emotional. Stay with us until the end, because some of the details and fan reactions might surprise you. The Indiana Fever have become one of the most talked about teams in professional basketball, and much of that attention revolves around Caitlin Clark. Since entering the league, every game, every injury update, and every coaching decision has been examined by fans and media alike. But over the past few days, a different conversation has taken over social media. Instead of focusing only on the box score, thousands of fans have been discussing what many are calling Caitlin Clark's emotional goodbye, Aliyah message. Almost immediately, posts, reaction videos, and online discussions began spreading across platforms. Some fans viewed the message as nothing more than a heartfelt expression of friendship and support. Others wondered whether it hinted at something much bigger happening behind the scenes.
Really look bad. This whole thing was a plan and a organized setup, and I see what's going on. This Indiana Fever organization is freaking disgusting. This head coach is disgusting, and she's trash. She did everything she could to lose the game tonight. Now, we got to get into this game. Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a game the first 3 quarters. I don't think Kelsey Mitchell was good in the fourth, but she made a big...
As with many stories involving high-profile athletes, speculation quickly began moving faster than confirmed information. One thing is certain: Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston have built one of the most recognizable partnerships in the WNBA. Since becoming teammates, they've shown flashes of the chemistry that made many analysts believe the Fever could become one of the league's most exciting young teams. Clark's court vision and passing ability complement Boston's strength in the paint, while Boston's ability to finish around the basket gives Clark another reliable offensive weapon. When they're both healthy and playing together, the offense often looks much more balanced. That chemistry is one reason fans became so emotional when recent events unfolded. During the Fever's latest stretch of games, injuries and lineup changes forced the coaching staff to adjust rotations. Whenever a key player is unavailable, every decision naturally comes under greater scrutiny. Fans begin asking whether different substitutions should have been made, whether another strategy would have worked better, and whether the team is getting the most from its star players. Those questions became even louder after several closely watched games. Every minute played, every timeout, and every substitution sparked debate online.
I feel like Lexi Hall is being punished because she's too close to Caitlin Clark. That's my opinion. Okay, Michaela Timpson, that was a hell of a block you had in the fourth quarter. God damn it, you look like Wemby. You look like Wemby on that block. Now, I'll say this. Stephanie White did everything she could to lose this game. The Indiana Fever were down 10. They went on a 13-0 run, largely in part because they went to like a box-and-one zone on Alyssa Thomas. They go on a 13-0 run.
Basketball fans love analyzing strategy, and Fever supporters are no different. Some believed the coaching staff was simply trying to protect players returning from injuries. Others argued that the team still hadn't found its ideal rotation. Neither viewpoint is unusual during a long season, especially when injuries force constant adjustments. At the center of many conversations has been Aliyah Boston. As one of the franchise's cornerstone players, Boston plays a crucial role on both ends of the floor. Her ability to score inside, rebound, defend multiple positions, and communicate with teammates makes her invaluable whenever she's on the court. Anytime she's unavailable, or returns after missing time, it naturally becomes a major storyline. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues facing expectations unlike almost any rookie in recent memory. Every performance receives national attention. Strong games generate headlines, while difficult nights often become the focus of intense debate. That's part of being one of the sport's biggest stars. The spotlight follows every step, making even routine basketball decisions seem much larger than they might otherwise appear. As discussions continued online, one theme kept appearing repeatedly. Many fans emphasized that Clark and Boston perform at their best when they're working together. Rather than comparing them, supporters pointed to the success they've already shown as a duo. Pick-and-roll plays, transition opportunities, and quick ball movement have all demonstrated how dangerous they can become as they gain more experience alongside one another. Former players and basketball analysts have often said that building chemistry takes time. Great partnerships aren't created overnight. They develop through practices, difficult losses, close victories, and learning how each teammate reacts under pressure. That's especially true for young teams still discovering their identity. Of course, social media doesn't always reward patience. A single clip can... That's why separating confirmed facts from internet speculation is so important. Basketball seasons are full of emotional moments. Players encourage one another, celebrate victories together, and support teammates during injuries or difficult stretches. Fans often connect those moments to larger narratives, even when there isn't enough evidence to support every conclusion. Still, there's no denying that the emotional response from Fever fans has been remarkable. Thousands of comments have praised the bond between Clark and Boston, calling them the future of the franchise. Others expressed concern that injuries and constant lineup changes could slow the team's progress. Regardless of where fans stand, one point seems nearly universal. People want to see these two stars healthy, on the court together, and developing into one of the WNBA's most exciting duos. As the Fever continue navigating the season, every upcoming game carries extra significance. Supporters aren't just watching the final score anymore. They're paying attention to rotations, communication, chemistry, and how quickly the team adapts when key players return. Those details often reveal just as much about a team's future as the standings themselves. And that's exactly why this story continues growing. It's no longer just about one emotional message or one viral discussion. It's become part of a much bigger conversation surrounding the direction of the Indiana Fever, the development of their young core, and the expectations placed on a franchise trying to build something special. But while fans have focused heavily on emotions and speculation, another important piece of this story has received far less attention. Several key moments from recent games, and comments that followed afterward, have given people even more reasons to debate what is really happening inside the Fever organization. Those moments may not prove every theory circulating online, but they do provide valuable context that every basketball fan should understand. As the discussion continued to grow, many fans stopped focusing on just one emotional moment and started looking at the bigger picture. They began comparing recent games, player availability, coaching decisions, and how the team performed under different circumstances. That's when the conversation became far more complicated. One of the biggest topics involved the Fever's changing rotations. Basketball coaches constantly adjust lineups based on matchups, player health, foul trouble, and game flow. While those decisions often make sense inside the locker room, they can look confusing from the outside, especially when fans don't have access to the team's medical updates or internal planning. During the Fever's recent stretch of games, several players dealt with injuries or were returning from them. That naturally affected substitutions and playing time. Whenever key contributors are limited, the coaching staff has to balance two priorities: trying to win today's game while also protecting players for the remainder of the season. For many fans, however, the timing raised questions. Why did certain players receive extended minutes one game but sit out another? Why were some rotations completely different from previous matchups? And why did the offensive rhythm seem to change so dramatically from night to night? Those questions fueled countless online discussions, but it's important to remember that fans rarely have access to all the information coaches and medical staffs consider before making decisions. Still, one thing almost everyone agreed on was how important Aliyah Boston is to this team's identity. Boston impacts the game in ways that don't always appear in the box score. Her screens create open shots. Her rebounding gives Indiana extra possessions. Defensively, she communicates constantly, helping organize the team against opposing offenses. When she's on the floor, teammates often look more comfortable because they know she can anchor both ends of the court. Caitlin Clark also benefits from that partnership. Throughout her basketball career, Clark has excelled when playing with strong post players who understand spacing and timing. Her passing ability allows her to create scoring opportunities that many guards simply don't see. Boston's ability to finish around the basket gives Clark another reliable option whenever defenses focus on stopping her perimeter game. That's why many Fever supporters continue saying the future of the franchise isn't about choosing one player over another. It's about maximizing what both stars can accomplish together. Meanwhile, another storyline quietly developed. Several role players stepped into larger responsibilities during this stretch. Veterans were asked to create more offense. Bench players received opportunities they might not normally see. Some responded with excellent performances, while others experienced the normal ups and downs that come with increased playing time. Those contributions deserve recognition because successful teams aren't built around only one or two players. Championships are usually won by teams whose entire roster contributes when needed. At the same time, the increased production from role players created another wave of online debate. Some commentators suggested the Fever looked more balanced without relying so heavily on one player. Others argued that those same performances actually showed how dangerous Indiana could become once everyone was healthy and available together. The truth probably lies somewhere in between. Good teams need stars, but they also need supporting players capable of making big plays when defenses focus on stopping those stars. Indiana's recent games demonstrated flashes of both possibilities. Another area receiving attention has been the coaching staff. Every coach faces criticism after close games, regardless of the sport. Fans naturally question timeout decisions, defensive adjustments, substitutions, and late-game strategies. That's part of coaching at the highest level. Some supporters praised the staff for adapting despite injuries. Others believed different offensive sets could have created better opportunities. Reasonable basketball fans can disagree about strategy without assuming there are hidden motives behind every decision. One thing that's impossible to ignore, however, is the pressure surrounding this franchise. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the Fever were already rebuilding around talented young players like Aliyah Boston. Clark's arrival dramatically increased national attention. Suddenly, nearly every game became a major television event. Ticket demand surged. National media covered the team almost daily. Every victory became headline news, and every loss generated intense discussion. That level of attention creates enormous expectations. Young players are expected to improve immediately. Coaches are expected to win immediately. The organization is expected to compete immediately. In reality, building a championship contender usually takes patience. History across professional sports shows that talented young cores often need several seasons to develop chemistry, establish leadership, and learn how to succeed in pressure situations. The Fever appear to be navigating that exact process. There have been exciting wins, frustrating losses, impressive individual performances, and learning experiences that could benefit the team in the long run. Perhaps the most encouraging sign has been the visible support teammates continue showing one another. Whether celebrating big shots, helping injured teammates, or encouraging each other during difficult stretches, the roster has repeatedly emphasized staying connected. That doesn't mean disagreements never happen. Every competitive team experiences them, but public support remains an important part of building a winning culture. As for Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston, many fans continue viewing them as the foundation of Indiana's future. One player stretches defenses with elite shooting and playmaking. The other controls the paint with strength, rebounding, and efficient scoring. Those skill sets complement each other remarkably well. The challenge now isn't deciding which player matters more. It's creating a system that consistently allows both stars to perform at their highest level while giving the supporting cast opportunities to contribute. And that's exactly where the next chapter of this story begins. Because with another highly anticipated matchup approaching, the spotlight is about to become even brighter. Fans won't simply be watching the scoreboard, they'll be analyzing every substitution, every possession, every interaction between teammates, and every coaching adjustment. Fair or not, those moments will shape the next wave of headlines surrounding the Indiana Fever. The biggest question is no longer what happened over the past week. It's what happens next. Now, all eyes turn to what comes next. The Indiana Fever are entering one of the most important stretches of their season, and the spotlight has never been brighter. Every game now feels bigger than just another regular season matchup. Every possession is analyzed, every coaching decision is debated, and every performance from Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston becomes the subject of thousands of conversations across social media. For the Fever, this is about much more than one emotional message or 1 week of headlines. It's about proving that this young roster can continue growing together despite the constant pressure surrounding the team. One thing many basketball analysts agree on is that expectations for Indiana changed the moment Caitlin Clark entered the league. Before her arrival, the Fever were viewed as a rebuilding franchise developing young talent. After the draft, expectations skyrocketed almost overnight. Suddenly, fans weren't just hoping for improvement, they expected playoff success immediately. That kind of pressure can be difficult for any young team. Every loss feels bigger. Every injury becomes when those two players are clicking together, Indiana looks like a completely different team. That's why so many fans remain optimistic about the franchise's future. Instead of focusing only on short-term results, they believe the Fever are building a foundation that could compete for years to come. Young teams often experience growing pains before reaching their full potential, and Indiana appears to be following that same path. Of course, none of that means the criticism will disappear. As long as the Fever remain one of the league's biggest stories, every mistake will receive national attention. Every close loss will generate debate. Every substitution will be analyzed. Every interview will be dissected. That's simply part of being one of the most recognizable teams in women's basketball today. Another factor worth remembering is how quickly narratives can change in sports. One impressive victory can completely shift public opinion. A winning streak can silence critics. A strong performance against a championship contender can erase weeks of negative headlines. The opposite is also true. One disappointing game can restart debates that seemed finished just days earlier. That's why experienced players often say they ignore outside noise and focus only on what happens inside the locker room. Championship teams rarely build success by responding to every social media discussion. They improve through practice, communication, trust, and consistency. Those qualities take time to develop. For Indiana, the relationship between Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston remains one of the organization's greatest strengths. Both players have repeatedly emphasized teamwork throughout the season. Their on-court chemistry continues improving with every game they play together. Their skill sets complement one another naturally. And perhaps most importantly, both understand that individual success means very little without team success. That perspective is exactly what successful organizations hope to build around. As the season continues, fans should expect adjustments. Rotations may change. Minutes may vary depending on matchups and player health. Different players will step up on different nights. That's completely normal over the course of a long professional season. The real measure of progress isn't whether every game is perfect. It's whether the team continues improving month after month. If Indiana can stay healthy and continue developing chemistry, many analysts believe this young core has the potential to become one of the most exciting groups in the WNBA. That doesn't guarantee championships. It doesn't guarantee immediate success. But it does provide a reason for optimism. And perhaps that's the biggest takeaway from this entire story. The emotional reactions from fans show just how deeply people care about this team. Supporters want to see Caitlin Clark succeed. They want to see Aliyah Boston thrive. They want to see the Fever compete with the league's best. Those expectations exist because people believe this roster has genuine potential. Whether every rumor proves true or false, one thing cannot be denied. The Indiana Fever have become one of the most closely watched teams in professional basketball. Every game attracts national attention. Every highlight spreads across social media. Every major storyline reaches millions of basketball fans around the world. That's a position many franchises would love to be in. Now it's up to the players and coaching staff to turn that attention into long-term success. The upcoming games will provide another opportunity to show how much this team has grown. Can the Fever continue building chemistry? Can their young stars stay healthy? Can they silence the constant speculation by letting their performance speak for itself? Those answers won't come from rumors or online debates. They'll come on the basketball court. And that's where the most important chapter of this story is still waiting to be written. For now, one thing is certain. The partnership between Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston remains one of the biggest reasons fans continue believing in Indiana's future. As long as those two continue growing together, the Fever will remain a team worth watching, regardless of what the headlines say. The season is far from over, and if recent weeks have taught us anything, it's that the next game could change the entire conversation once again. What do you think about everything that's happened surrounding Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston? Is the recent online reaction being blown out of proportion, or do you believe there's more to the story than fans have seen so far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more WNBA news, Indiana Fever updates, Caitlin Clark stories, game analysis, and the latest basketball headlines, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Your support helps us bring you more in-depth coverage, fact-based analysis, and the biggest stories from around the league. Thanks for watching, stay safe, keep supporting the game, and we'll see you in the next video.